Welcome to Northwest Florida State College Outlook. Our mission is our students, helping each person who comes through our doors to achieve their individual goals for education and career success. NWF is committed to providing students with opportunity to meet their educational goals and to helping them achieve success. Improve your life today at Northwest Florida State College.
Hey there, Raider fans, and welcome to the Raider Sports Beat. I'm Ramsey Ross, Director of Athletics at Northwest Florida State College, and we're very excited because spring is in the air and we're going to be talking Raider baseball and Raider softball. And joining us first off tonight will be, today will be Jack Byerley, our head softball coach, who's entering his 8th season at Northwest Florida State College, running our softball program. Coach Byerley, thank you very much for joining us.
I appreciate it to be back.
Well, Coach, first off, we want to recap last year because this is the first opportunity we've really had to touch on that. You did finish second in the conference, but I know some things probably didn't unfold the way you had hoped, and you raised the bar for Raider softball, and wasn't probably quite the way you wanted your season to go. Talk a little bit about that.
No, it's definitely not. It was history making.
Yeah.
First time in my entire career, over 30 years, that we had a losing season. Mm-hmm. And the first time we've ever had a losing season and finished second or runner-up, as you might say, in a conference, which is an anomaly, I guess. But yeah, we were not where we needed to be for Raider athletics, not even close. But we competed, and so that helped us out.
Well, and I want to compliment you on that. The fact that you did finish 1 or 2 games below 500, which is like you said, the first time that's ever happened. But you still finished second in the league, which proved that you guys didn't give up. You battled and you persevered, which I want to congratulate you on.
I appreciate it. It came down to that playoff game we had.
Right, exactly.
And brought some folks back and played a little bit, but it was fun. Yeah. I mean, it was stressful, but it was fun. The kids worked hard. That's where it comes down
Sure.
to. Who's going to work hard at the end.
Sure. Well, as we turn the calendar and go into this 2016 season, in your evaluation process in the summer and early fall, what were some of the things you wanted to tweak going into this year?
Well, number one, the assistant coaches did a fantastic job recruiting last year. Megan Balding and Coach Brechtel did a super job. So we had some great kids coming in. So we had to, we had to improve everything.
Right.
From the offense to the defense to the pitching. And the pitching staff has improved. Our ERA is now 2.03 or something like that. Our team batting average offense is 308 right now. We're hitting 308. Stolen 28 bases, which is more than we stole all last year. Defensively, we're fielding over like 950, so we're doing well. And we're number 1 in the nation hitting home runs.
Yeah.
So our offensive production has gone up. And defensively, we've done a good job. And we're doing it with freshmen.
Yeah.
We have 4 sophomores. But now, you're talking about 4 really good sophomores. It's kids
right.
that are contributing.
And that's what I wanted to touch on. You had 3 returners from last year, and of course you had the transfer, which we'll get to in a minute. But talk about the core, the leadership that those 3 have brought in the production. And of course, Hannah Day Hannah Sparks has really, sorry, there's a flashback there.
Yeah.
Hannah Sparks at catcher has improved dramatically. Talk about those 3 and the impact that they've made.
Well, I think before they left, they made a commitment to each other that, guess what, we're the ones that are returning. We're not going to live through this again. We're going to work even harder to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And they've done that. Hannah Sparks has just been, a spark.
Right.
And so she's done her job behind the plate. She's done her job within the team and off the field as well. All 3 of those sophomores have. We have our Unity Council now, and 2 of those 2 of the 4 sophomores are on the Unity Council, and they've made a huge difference. They've let these young kids grow. They've let them make their mistakes, and they've taught them that, guess what? So you had a bad day.
Right.
Well,
and I think one of the things I think is necessary to touch on is the DNA of your team. They seem to be very tough-minded, competitive young ladies, and I think that is a reflection of their coach and the culture that you're trying to build at Raider softball, right. And I think that's made a big difference.
Right, it's huge. The team chemistry has been fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the chemistry is not a neutral chemistry. It's right. A high-intensity chemistry.
Right.
I mean, we look up the other day and we have a pass ball, and I've got one kid going home, and I turn around, all of a sudden, dang, there's another kid coming from second base, scoring right on top of that kid. So we had 2 kids that stole home. And that's the kind of intensity that we have going on. And it's not something that I have to lead. It comes from within, and that's what you have to have. Nowadays you have to have something that comes from within, mm-hmm. And and we just direct it.
Right. And I think another thing that I think has been a big difference this year is the depth that you have at the pitching position. At pitcher, you have a lot of arms, a lot of versatility there. Talk about what kind of a luxury that is as a head coach to have that, especially in softball when you're playing double headers every playing day.
Correct. Well, if we had them all healthy, it'd be great. But
right.
excuse me, we having 5 pitchers is definitely fantastic, and they're not all the same. You've got the heat people that throw it hard, the Harlesses and the McKellens, and then you have the junk folks like Freeman and Alley, and then you have Lauren Lett. Right. That is the Greg Maddox, I guess, kind of person, or whatever. They throw it right on the corner and make the ball break, do all that kind of stuff. So they get it started for us. Yeah. If they keep us in the game and if they keep the ball in the park, then we're fine. And the best part about those guys is they understand that they're a pitching staff. They're not worried about, do I get to play today? Do I get to start today? They know that at some point I might have to relieve. Right. It's not like we have 5 righties and 5 lefties and these guys are short relieves. We don't have that. We have kids that are ready to throw right now. Let's go get it done. And the chemistry within those guys has been super, which has kind of been the nucleus of what's going on.
Right.
The way they are handling things is the way the team's handling things.
Well, and you've already alluded a little bit to your offense. You are on a record-breaking pace, really. Like you said, you lead the country in home runs, which is a remarkable stat. Every time we play a game or a doubleheader, it's multiple kids having home runs or multiple home run days. Talk about the power. Where did that come from? Did you anticipate that? Is that something you guys worked on?
No, but the EOD Center's contacts about the bombs have been taken off over the complex. They've had a lot of fun with it. Right. We've got, the transformation has been in the weight room. They've worked hard, so their core strength and everything is there. And McKellen, who we've talked about the transfer, has brought in a huge bat, which, it's kind of seeped into everybody else. They say, hey, if we swing hard, it might go someplace. Right. And so that's what's happened. And all the kids have picked into that, and some of the freshmen who we didn't think were going to be power hitters are banging the wall. And, we're excited hitting 31 right now. Who knows? It might stop right now, but still we'll compete and we'll be fine. Right.
Well, and you've mentioned her name a couple of times, but I do think it's worth mentioning Savannah McKellen. It was a transfer we got at the winter break from the University of Georgia. Just a tremendous talent. She's a pitcher and a hitter. Obviously made a big impact on the team. Hopefully she can continue to be healthy. She's battling some tendonitis now in her knee, but she's really made a big impact.
Right. We were talking about the chemistry, and that was my biggest worry when you bring somebody in from a D1 school, like, oh, what are they going to be like? Were they going to be, standoffish? Why am I down here? No, she wasn't that way. She came in, meshed in. She knew that was going to be the toughest thing for her, was to make that happen, and she's made it happen. Yeah. And she's a great kid, working hard in the class. I think she's got 19 hours, and so she's busting it, getting after it, and she's doing well on the field. Now, she is a little bit out of shape because of the situations, but she can crush. Yeah. The whole time I was at Auburn, I don't think I've ever seen anybody hit as hard as she has.
Right. Well, I was lucky enough to come out and watch batting practice the other day before one of your games, and made a comment that it's the most impressive batting practice I've seen a Raider softball team have. Just the ball just absolutely flies off the bats. It's really impressive to watch.
It is. And it's open at 1 o'clock, so anybody wants to come out and watch, it's free time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you have, with your position players, you seem to have a lot of depth at a lot of different positions, but more importantly, you have a lot of versatilities. A lot of players can play a lot of different positions. For example, one of your best players coming in, freshman Tori Robinson, who's been battling a shoulder injury. She's just now getting healthy. She was penciled in as your shortstop. Paige Johnson emerges during the first month of the season as a great shortstop option. Now Tori might play outfield. That's just an example of the type of versatility you have, and I know that's got to get you excited.
Right. And when it's kind of like a chess game. You think you're playing against your opponent, but we're kind of playing within ourselves here, right, putting people in different positions. And Paige is out because she has a shoulder problem, but she's going to go to first, where she doesn't throw so much. And Tori's going to go to short.
And Brianna Ernst is coming back.
Ernst is coming back, and she's going to go to the outfield.
Yeah. So as an infielder in the fall.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're moving folks around because they're athletes. And when they played summer ball, they played here and there and everywhere. And I even thought about moving Sparks someplace because she covers ground like nobody's, or whatever. She just gets after it. And so those kids are that way because they worked hard during the summer with their summer teams, and that helps us tremendously. You know, we're going to put the best hitters on the field and see how it works out, and that's the way we've always done it. And you know, a kid that starts at second right now, Huey.
Yeah.
McKenzie, I mean, the youngster was on the bench for a long time with a $173. Well, she's worked her way up to 3-something, and is doing a great job at second. So
absolutely,
you never can tell.
No, you can't. And you know, as we wrap up the month of February, currently right now you're 15-2, which is a remarkable record. But you know, conference season will start in a couple weeks. What were some of the things that you're looking for from now until the start of the conference season for your team to improve on?
Well, we've got to be a little bit more consistent in the field defensively. We're making some errors that we shouldn't be. Simple things, and it's just a lack of concentration. Pitchers are going to have to hit their spots just a little bit better. Right now we're throwing it by people because it's early in the year and people don't have their timing down. But later in the year, you know, folks are going to have that down. And so we're going to have to hit our spots a little bit better. But the biggest thing is we're going to have to keep up the intensity, and that's hard for a team to do. And I know conference, oh, you should always get up for conference. Well, yeah, but sometimes the nervousness sets in instead of the intensity. But we've got to learn to keep that intensity up.
Absolutely. And I'd certainly be remiss if we didn't mention your coaching staff. You know, you alluded to a little bit about Megan Balding, who's no longer with us, did an excellent job recruiting, along with Coach Brechtel. You have Coach Brechtel back, but you've added 2 new additions that have really been a tremendous asset, you know, for your program.
Marty Littlefield came in from Valdosta. She was an All-American shortstop at Valdosta. She's been a blessing. She has gotten after it. She's in charge of the infielders, and she's done a great job with the young team. She's a very calm person, which is different than me, I guess, and so she's helped tremendously.
Right.
And the other one is Amanda Van Vraken. She was a catcher here a long time ago, and she's come in and worked with the catchers and helped them tremendously. And she does a lot of the stats work, and so we're very happy. I guess the chemistry with the young ladies and me has been really good.
Right.
You know, Coach Brechtel adds a little bit. You know, there's been a lot of humor. There's been a lot of gnarling and all that kind of stuff in the office and screaming about who's going to start and who's not going to start. And I just put my fist down and say, okay, this is the way it's going to be. But it's good, and we're very excited that the coaching staff has meshed with the team as well.
Well, yeah, I think that all filters down, absolutely. So conference season, it's coming up. What are some of the things that you're looking for? You know, obviously the conference is loaded every year. We have the team, Chipola, who is actually coming off a national championship. So you know there's going to be a lot of good teams. What are you expecting out of all the other 4 schools?
Well, Chipola's going to be Chipola. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to put the ball on the ground somehow and try to beat you that way, make you get out of your mold. And Tallahassee, they're going to pitch. They're going to pitch well, and typically they have some fairly decent hitters. I think they're a little bit down, but they're still going to be pretty strong. Pensacola's going through a coaching change, and you know what happens when you have a coaching change? Typically they win. You know, the first year seems to be an exciting year for them because of the change. And of course, Gulf Coast, they're banging the ball. I watched them the other day, and they're just absolutely banging the ball. They have a good pitcher, and she has pitched a lot. Hopefully she'll be healthy for them. Hopefully not for us. But you know, it's going to be a situation where it's going to be the typical conference, and those that you know, maintain and don't get too nervous about it and stay intense, we're going to be fine.
Well, and the best news is we have Saturday home games in the conference, which we have not had in, I think we had a 2 or 3 year drought, but we have 2 home dates this year for Saturdays, 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. I encourage you to come out. They play at 1 and 3 o'clock. It's a great way to spend an afternoon and the Saturday in the springtime. So, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. We're looking forward to a great season. You already have a great season. Continue that, and hopefully we'll be talking about some championships at the end of the year.
Sounds good. Don't forget we play at home Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, 4 and 6.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned, Raider fans. When we come back, we'll be visiting with Doug Martin, who has his team set to defend their national title from a year ago.